best be liking it because you're going to find yourself singing along all the way down Interstate 94. They'll be back in just a couple minutes, but while they're gone, I'm going to share a little message with you that was presented to me as a topic by a lady in Wapaton, North Dakota. I've had the honor of taking out the Medora Christmas tour the last several years since we started, and we crisscross the four-state area between Thanksgiving and Christmas. Miss Emily goes along, Travis, the keyboard player, and this last year on our stop in Wapaton, a lady came up to me and said, I know you're not doing the musical anymore, but are you still going to do the gospel brunch? I said, I don't know. We haven't decided that. I'm going to do a show at the town hall in the afternoons, but I don't know about the gospel brunch. And she said, well, if you do, I assume you're going to talk about the why. I said, the why? She said, yeah, I've been to the gospel brunch every year. And the first year you talked about who we were called to be, and you did a story about prairie dogs and eagles, and we were called to be eagles. Then the next year you talked about the what we were called to do, and he gave us this little round mirror and told a story about your daughter, and we were called to reflect God's love. Then last year you had a big hourglass, and you talked about when, the times of our life and living in the moment. So I assume this year you're going to talk about the why. I said, yeah, that was my plan. We'll get along much better if you don't pay that close attention. The why is tough. That's tough. That's a hard question. We all think about that from time to time. Why are we here? My qualification for speaking on this subject is, in my many years in Medora, I've spent plenty of time all by myself out in the beautiful Badlands contemplating that question. Why? Why am I here? Why are you here? Why are we bouncing along on this little blue planet? You know, they say that the things that make us happy, we have a quest for happiness and purpose in our life. If you go to Amazon.com, and under the book section, you put in the word purpose for subject, you get 150,000 book titles. I haven't read them all. But I know this. We sometimes get confused in our quest for why. We sometimes get confused and think that happiness comes from success, which comes from he who has the most toys. And study after study has shown there's no correlation between those things. You know, we have 30% more space in our dwellings today than we had 50 years ago. 30% more space per person to keep our stuff. And on top of that, we rent 2.4 billion square feet of personal storage space, a relatively new industry. But yet, on surveys of ourselves, only 30% of us consider ourselves to be very happy. The same percentage as it was 50 years ago. Why? Why wouldn't we all consider ourselves to be very happy? You know, as we go along our little journey in life, all of us from time to time get into this mode where we think it's about us. It's the very nature of mankind. And when we do, we usually make some wrong turns and things get messed up. But when we come to understand and accept that there really is a God, and we accept the premises of these Gospels, then we're going to accept what it says in Jeremiah 29, where it says, there's a plan for you. There's a purpose for your life. And if we've done that, then we should have an attitude of gratitude. We should be grateful that we get a chance at this gift of life. They say over the multiple generations that made you up, there are actually 60 trillion different cell combinations that could have come together. But the ones that came together made you unique from all other people that have ever lived. And unique from all other people that ever will live. With opportunities that just come to you. And if you don't step up and do them, no one else will. Wow! What an adventure. Why aren't we grateful and thankful and happy that we get this chance at life? And if we truly are grateful, then we should show it. We should have an attitude of joy. We should be happy. It's not about what happens to us on our journey. It's about how we react to what happens. And joy is one of those things you can't give away. You always get more back than what you give. I recommend an attraction for you to see this afternoon that's not listed on the Medora list of attractions. But if you go a half a block down this alley, to your left, you'll see a metal building. It's the Medora Laundry. I think it's the hardest job in Medora to work in that laundry. It's hot in there. And they not only do all the tablecloths, they do all the sheets and linens from the hotels. They actually have to fold those fitted, rounded corner sheets. Those can't be folded, I know this from experience. But if you go there today, you ask for Marcia. And if Marcia's working, She's the supervisor there. She's going to come up. She's going to say, "Hi, guys. Thanks for stopping by. I'm Marcia. What can I do for you today?" I know that's what she is going to do because that's what she does every day. She makes up her mind when she gets out in the morning that it's a great day. She has some really good days, then she has some that are better. I said to her empathetically at the beginning of the summer, knowing that she's going to be working in the laundry, I said, "Marcia, I understand you're working in the laundry." She said, "I'm just so excited to be back in Medora. I can't wait to see what happens there." I need to be more like Marcia. We need to show joy for this gift. The other thing that I think helps us along the way is if we have a servant leader heart. I lost one of the people that I most admired in my life, with the five most that I would admire. A lady by the name of Sister Thomas Welker, who was the longtime president of the University of Mary, passed away earlier this summer. And she, to me, was the epitome of a servant leader. And if she were here today, she would say this. She would say, "You know what? You're all going to get your chance to lead. Might be just one-on-one with a friend, but you're going to get your chance to step out. And when you do, it's important you do it with a servant's heart. We have to be willing to humble ourselves. We have to be willing to wash some feet as we go through this life." The other thing that I think helps with that is that if we have respect for each other. One of the things that bothers me is that in my span of my lifetime, it seems to me we have less respect for each other than we did when I was younger. We blame it on the politicians, but it's all of us. I have an opinion on something. And if you don't agree with me, you're wrong. And I don't like you. We have to be willing to accept people where they are on their journey. Everybody has a purpose. We have to understand that and accept them where they are at this point on their journey. Everything has a significance. Even insects have some significance. If you don't believe me, sometimes sleeping in a bedroom with 3 flies and 2 mosquitoes, it's a long night. Then we get into this thing about the why. When you're trying to find your why, if you don't know it yet, don't look at other people and say, "Oh, I wish I could do that," or "I wish I could do that." No, look inside. What are your talents? What are your abilities? What would you do if you had all the time and money? What can you work on all day long and seem like you're not even working? That's your why. That's where you find your purpose. My buddy Vasanti, who's the main cook here, Poppy, he's a great cook. I'm lucky that the season is almost over because the carnival rolls are out. Buttons are working under a little more stress than they did earlier in the summer. He's a great cook. If you walk up to Poppy and you say, "I loved your hash browns," he's going to smile from ear to ear. See, he loves to cook. When he cooks, he uses all those spices. When I cook, I use 2, salt and pepper. But he loves to cook. See, his why isn't just that he likes to do it. His why is that he makes it enjoyable for you to do what you need to do anyway to sustain your life. It's a great why. You know, there's cars lining up the street out here, and there's men and women who can actually fix those if something goes wrong. Wow, I'm not one of those people. If you were to point to any car out there, there's a 50% chance I could open the hood. Okay, 30% chance.